Hello guys, it's me again. So I'm sure many of you who have been joining my stream are already aware, but omniraptors got a lot of buff, along with some changes and bugs that not a lot of people seems to be fully aware of. Such a massive buffs actually that omniraptors went from my least played carnivores into the most in the current moment. So I decided to make this quick video in order to show you guys and explain one of the biggest changes that have been added. Also, a lot of people have been asking what server I play, so here is a quick shout out to two amazing servers that I'm the most active at the current moment. Alright, and that's enough of me talking, let's get into the video. So, one of the biggest changes they have introduced is the tree interaction. As many of you guys already know, trees, rock, bamboo, and banana trees used to knock Omnis off, allowing you to easily shake them off by just hugging a tree or getting close to certain obstacles. But that's not fully possible anymore, as now a lot of trees cannot knock off Omnis at all, which means that they can stay latched onto you until either they run out of stamina or you buck them off. This making Omniraptors incredibly strong, since they can now maintain their pounce without worrying as much about getting glitched into obstacles or being shaken off too easily. But that said, as mentioned earlier, not all trees are safe, as some of them can still knock you down. And now with a new bug that permanently keeps you stuck on the prey when knocked down, the new change seems to be kind of a double-edged sword, as getting knocked down is more punishing than before. Therefore, it is extremely important to learn which trees are dangerous and which are not. So, let's go over them. Starting with the trees that can knock you down. We will start with the trees that are the most common and the easiest to spot. Those being big trees, which are the big ones that are easy to tell due to their sheer size, swamp trees, which can be found specifically in swamp areas, and wiggly trees, trees with weird twisted shapes. These three types of trees are all over the map and easy to notice during the fight because they are so distinct whether by their size, roots, or shape, or the location they are present in. These are the ones that are the least problematic as they are very simple to tell, while being very noticeable during the fight. So avoiding these and differentiating them is very easy, as all you need to do is to make sure to avoid trees with those features or within the area. But this is where things start to get a little bit more complicated. So, if you guys are like me and actually enjoyed the game's environment, you might already know this, but a lot of trees and vegetations have different variations of the same type, with each having different interactions, making them very confusing and deadly, as by simply mistaking one with the other version could lead you to your death. So, here are some of the most important variations, starting off with the palm tree. Palm trees, similar to the rest, have three variations: white palm tree, dark palm tree, and leaning palm tree. These can be widely found in areas such as Highlands Lake, Highlands J Sector, north of J Sector, near the Mudflat Sanctuary, West Rail Access Beach, West Access, Northern Lake, and Southern Swamp Beach. In the case of a palm tree, only one variation out of three is dangerous, that being the dark palm tree, as it is the only palm tree that can knock down omniraptors, with the rest being completely safe to stay on. Moving on to the next one being the bamboo trees. Similarly to the palm trees, these have three variations as well: small green, medium brown, and large bamboo tree. These trees can be found in areas such as South Plains, West Rail Access, and West Access. Compared to the palm trees, bamboo trees actually have two variations that are dangerous, with only one being safe. The safe one being the small green, with the dangerous one being the medium brown and large ones. These trees are a little bit more tricky to tell apart, especially when it's in the middle of an intense fight, as they tend to look very similar, not to mention that some of the medium brownish variations can be smaller and possess more green colors, looking almost identical as the small, safe green bamboo trees. Lastly, moving on to the banana trees, These trees also have 3 variations, but this one compared to the rest had a major change. If you guys remember, before the update, banana tree used to knock omnis down, along with many other small bushes. But that's not the case anymore, as none of the banana tree variation do knock you down anymore, including the rest of the small vegetation, such as small bushes, little tiny trees, and leaves. So, by this point, some of you may have already noticed 2 odd things in the video. One of them being the common pattern among the safe and non-safe trees, and other being that I haven't mentioned all of the trees that knock you down. Which leads me to the next point. So as you guys can already tell from the title, memorizing all the different type of tree is just not gonna be an option for everyone. So that's where I come in. The reason why I haven't mentioned every single tree, except the ones that are in my opinion very important, is due to the simple method of differentiating them that I have designed and used myself, which I call SSC Method. As mentioned, all trees have its pattern that seem to be present on every single tree that do not or do knock you down. Those patterns or features being the size, shape, and color, with each somewhat indicating that the tree is going to knock you down or not. And with this method, you can identify any tree on the go if you're uncertain. So here is how it works. When trying to identify the safe and non-safe trees, the first step is by checking its size, as usually the larger the tree is, the more likely it's going to knock you down, with smaller being the opposite, as the smaller they are, the less likely they will. But this alone is not foolproof, as there are a number of trees that are small and do still knock you down, with some larger ones that do not. Which brings us to the second step, being its shape. After identifying its size, we should check out its shape, as most of the trees that possess a lot of branches or wiggles tend to knock you down, while on the other hand, the ones that are straight and shapeless tending to be the ones that are safe. But this is also not fully safe, as there are certain trees such as bamboo trees that are both small and straight that can knock you down, bringing us to the next and last step, being the color. Surprisingly, the color does play a significant role, with lighter trees tending to be the less likely to knock you down, with the darker variation tending to knock you down. As given in a comparison before with both palm trees and bamboo trees, despite one of them being small and both of them being straight, possessing 2 features that are common in the safe trees, both of their lighter variations for the safe one, with the darker version knocking you down. Therefore, when trying to identify a tree, all those 3 features should be taken into consideration, or simply just pounce off before you hit the tree. So as you guys saw, the newly added tree is incredibly strong to be aware of, as it ultimately allows omniraptors to pounce you to death until they run out of stamina or until you buck them off. And properly being able to identify these different trees can make a difference between successful and failed hunt. And in case of majority of the herbivores, this can make a difference between survival or death, especially with the newly buffed neutral pounce along with the bleed multiplier. But that would be a different topic for a different video. Anyway guys, that's all I have for the video. I hope you guys found this information useful, and see you guys around the plains. See ya!